Jim Romer on the September 26th. Today, we're going to be talking about how we called Hurricane Ian very early and why it could be one of the worst hurricanes in 100 years for the Tampa, Sarasota area, something we saw several days ago. This is called the spaghetti model. Well, not exactly. There are as many storm tracks as the Hurricane Center was saying the last 4 or 5 days as are colors in my hat. Let's go back and look why we predicted this major hurricane very, very early. This is the European model. Yes, folks, the Europeans do a better job forecasting than we do very often here in the United States. I look at models in many, many different countries and try to average them. This is from a few days ago. Look at this, how it had Ian, which will become a hurricane here shortly, actually developing to the southwest of Cuba, right over the Sarasota-Tampa Bay area, all right? Versus the American model that NOAA, the National Hurricane Center, were predicting this storm would go, look at that, up around Tallahassee, well west of Tampa, Sarasota, and the west coast of Florida. But has things changed? Certainly they have been. Now look how the American model actually has the hurricane coming much closer to the coast of Tampa and also Sarasota. Why is that? We look at all sorts of weather phenomenons and cycles around the world, as well as short-term and long-term maps. This is what the American model was predicting a couple of days ago. Notice the red you see in the southern part of the country, the high pressure kind of backing up over the Midwest, kind of a southeasterly flow there near my shoulder, that arrow, which would push the storm into the Gulf of Mexico. I was not really believing that. Instead, look at this. This is the European model. Notice that high over the Midwest, the red is actually further south. See how much further south it is than the GFS model, American model 2 days ago? That's pushing the hurricane further east by Wednesday, as we predicted, and it could be even a Category 4 storm. Outside chance for a 5, but when it hits land, it'll probably be a 3 or 4. This is the ocean temperatures, red and orange, warmer than normal, in part certainly because of climate change, the warming oceans around the world for many, many years, particularly in the Gulf of Mexico. With Ian going over that, there's going to be explosive development here over the next couple days. Speaking of climate change, speaking of the warming world, the most powerful storm in history hit Alaska a couple of weeks ago, and also just a few days ago, the most powerful hurricane ever hit eastern Canada. And folks don't think climate change is real? Come on, folks. 90% of the world's scientists really believe in it. Anyway, we're also looking at the lower wind shear caused by La Nina, those cool ocean currents. You see La Nina is not weakening. When you have that cool blue off the coast of Peru, that weakens the shear in the Gulf of Mexico. And that's one reason why Sarasota, which for many years has been a safe haven from hurricanes, unfortunately, a lot because of climate change, could see probably one of the worst hurricanes in history if these models do not change over the next 24 to 48 hours. Be safe and stay tuned for further updates.